Looks good.
All right, so we got all our pots mended up, all lined up here by the truck. All our buoys are down on the boat now, and also our bait bags and bait jars. So that about wraps it up for that part of the gear work anyways. Trying to think if there was anything else. We took inventory on basically our extras tote, the twines and needles and snaps, rubber bands, all that whatnot. So yeah, I guess now we've moved on to some fabrication work inside, and I'll bring you guys in and we'll get rolling on that. All right, so I have a couple of pieces of flat bar here, 3/4 inch by 3, and you might be able to see, it's actually kind of hard to see on camera, but I've lined out what will become the ears, or the top holders, I guess, for our stabilizer poles. So you kind of see them there. There'll be a hole here on either side, and we're gonna sleeve a piece of stainless into that hole just to make it last longer, well, make it last forever essentially, and keep the shackle bolt from grinding away, wearing at the aluminum, which is a lot softer than the stainless. Gotta drill a couple holes in that and then round off, or cut them and then round off the edges. So that's what I'm doing. And over here, Dad's working on the crab lock.
Yeah, just kind of getting things laid out here. Checking things before we got a longer piece of pipe here to join these two together. So I wanted to make sure that everything was oriented right. There's actually another set of holes right here, so these were both in further. So I'm glad I took a look at it because it was a little bit too tight. It's better now. Moved them out, and in doing so, that made the length of these pipes longer. So I'm glad that I took a moment to look at that. So basically these will be positioned like this. This will be a little bit longer. So just kind of imagine that. It's going to look something like that. The end of this will probably get trimmed back a little bit. But you want it to extend a little bit over. And then if your line's trailing back, it will tend to ride against this pipe too, and it can't pop out as easy. Mm-hmm. And same thing going forward. It's got this nice profile to rub against if your line's leading way forward or anything weird like that. Probably not such a big deal with our small pots like they are, but eventually we'll probably move up to larger ones, and so then we'll be set for that. Yeah, should be a good block, I think, other than that.
Yeah. Fully rebuilt. We did this in the past already, did those bearings, and like cleaned it up a bit.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. We had to pull these shivs apart, and that was a real battle to get those apart. They pretty much welded themselves in there with rust. This steel hub right here had rusted and locked this brass in really tight. And yeah, it was a bugger to get those apart. So you need to be able to disassemble this if you need to add shims in between these two plates or shivs. You need to shim it, widen it, or reduce it for your line to bite properly. So that was important to do.
All right, got the pilot holes bored through. It's 7/8 bit here, I think, and we're shooting for about 1 inch and 1/8, but I think I'll just push the 1 incher through here and probably just use the die grinder to do the rest. kind of a press fit on that stainless insert, make it a little easier to bend the edges in. So slam this through here. Need a clamp, BRB.
I forget what we paid for that drill press. We got this used in town. It's been a good drill press. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I always kind of think to myself, I wonder what like machinists and stuff think when they see our janky setup. If they're like, I remember those days.
Probably some of them do, right?
Yeah. I'd like to think that some of them
machinist shop or grew up in one.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys put that stuff together themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually do it quite a bit with some pretty rudimentary equipment.
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to
sure.
say it's easy or efficient because it's not, but you can get the job done.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little sketchy. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yep.
Sometimes it barely works.
Sometimes the measurements are off just a hair, but you get it done.
So we make do with what we have.
Yep. And that's a Grizzly heavy-duty drill press.
A drill press, a grinder, and bandsaw.
What'd you call it? Poor man's lathe.
My poor man's lathe. Yep.
Whoa. Heck yeah.
Looking good. So we don't really need a gap here at all. Kind of the less the better. So next we just need to, I don't know, maybe I'll dig around for a piece of flat bar. Get that positioned. I need to put a little stub on this end too. That's gonna have to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit long. But all in all, I think that looks pretty slick.
That'll do the trick.
I believe it will. I'm happy with it. Well, I guess I'll dig around and find some stainless flat bar or a little piece of plate or something to tack on here. And I'm not sure which side I want to put it on. Maybe I do want to just put it on this side.
Yeah, whatever's easiest.
Close that gap right there too. Not that I'm really concerned about that, but you know, things happen.
Right here. Yeah, you never know.
Things happen. Something can get in that gap, and maybe your idler loosens up on you and you don't notice it. Next thing you know, you got your line jammed in there, and it's probably fine though. This will make a big difference because that'll actually keep it away from there. So nice. I probably need to tilt this up is what I need to do and get a better look at it.
Okay guys, just die grinding out these holes a little more, just opening them up a little bit more in order to receive this piece of stainless. This was a 1-inch drill bit, just barely a hair too small, probably about 1/8 too small, but that's fine. We're just die grinding them to open them a little bit, and then this will just press in with a vise. So let's do it.
All right, well, new blade seemed to help. I guess that other one was a little tired. I better just cut it, huh? One more cut.
making progress on the fairlead.
Yeah, just I cut one tab here, just radiused it. This idler arm, that's what this is called. It's an idler arm, idler wheel. Got this different fairlead. Call it a million different things, I suppose. At any rate, there's no room to get this behind it, so I just radiused it, gave it a little bit of clearance there. Kind of matched up to this. This is all the way down the peeler right now, so if anything, this gap will get larger as we adjust that, so it should be okay, I think.
Nice.
And now I'm just gonna tack this onto the other. I'm gonna make another one for this side too, and I think that that's probably sufficient. We'll put some bolts in here. We'll use some countersink bolts so our line's not getting hung up on it. And this will be kind of in there somewhere, so I'm just kind of getting this jigged up a little bit, height-wise. Looks like it might be up a little bit too much right now. I don't know. This will probably make it too tall again. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of like center this on this idler. And so something like that's not too bad. And so now as the line comes in here, it won't be able to get caught underneath here either. I'll probably fill this in a little bit too. I don't think the line could ever get in there, but
yeah, maybe
we'll see.
Maybe a knot tail could or something like that.
Yeah,
potentially.
It's really not too big of a deal to cut a piece. This took like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes to cut that chunk, if that. So it's easy enough to fabricate this stuff, and got lots of scrap around. We always save our cutoffs, even small pieces smaller than this, because we eventually do need a little tab or a little piece or something, and we got just a big bin over there full of that kind of junk. Always come in handy for spacers, things like that. So, that right there doesn't look all that bad, does it?
Yeah,
looking at it from
nice.
Down below.
I like it.
I think I'm pretty even. I might go ahead and just tack that on there, and then I can throw a clamp on there. We'll hang it off that piece of line over there and kind of see how it looks. Yeah, I like it. I think this is going to be nice. I still need to trim this down. Of course, all this needs to be welded out too. I should probably do that before long, or do it in stages. Once I start, then it'll be hard to handle, so I'm kind of trying to get this stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, get your mock-up all done. And
get my mock-up done. Everything's tacked together really good, so it shouldn't move too much. Yeah, should look pretty snazzy when we're done.
All right, guys. So we got the holes bored out a little bit with our die grinder there. We cut one corner here, rounded off, and we're waiting on this one so that I still have a nice long clamping piece while I round this over with the router. So that's what I'm about to do, make these corners nice and round, even though it's going to be 40 feet up in the air. Alright, let's see how easy that works. It's just a carbide round over bit. I think that one's 3/16, and it just gives it a nice round edge. Not so applicable on this piece since it's going to be way up in the air, but like on rails or anything with a sharp corner that's in a work zone, it sure works good and makes it nice for cleaning off or anything like that. So there it is. We'll do that A few more times here, get these other ones knocked out. All right. Slice that off there. Just a little cleanup on those corners right there and there with the grinder. Fair them out nicely. And hit it with the router, and that's one done. After that, we just gotta notch it right there. And it's time. And meanwhile, Dad's over here with his fancy stencil.
Yeah. So this is just 3/4 inch aluminum flat bar. Cut it up. So this will be enough for 2 pieces here. Just gonna scribe this with a sharp punch. Gonna let the stuff dry. So I can cut this line. And then I'll just have another one right here. Yeah, so these are for the mast. This will be welded to the mast, and it will provide the mount for our picking boom. So we can lift our crab pots up out of the water, and we retrieve them. So it was pretty bare bones boat when we got it, as far as like rigging and stuff. Really just a mast and stabilizer poles. Guess it did have kind of a davit. We've replaced that one with our boom that we had our pulley attached to for long lining, and we'll just do the same thing. We'll just hang our crab block off of that. The other one kind of looked like it had been cobbled together from a few different boats, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
pretty
maybe a
rough looking
scrapyard score or something.
Yeah, but we need a picking boom to pull our gear on, so that's what this is for. So I got a little hole here when I cut this template. Also cut a small hole right here. That's going to be the bore that the pin goes through to hold the gooseneck that the picking boom is attached to. Markers work pretty good for layout. If you don't have access to blue Dykem, I don't even know if anybody sells that here. So blue Sharpie. I like scribing this because then when you're cutting it, the line gets rubbed and gets hard to see sometimes. So this just kind of makes it easy to put a scribe mark on there. So I usually try and use a pilot bit and not use the bit on the hole saw. I'm always tempted to and drill it, but what tends to happen is when you punch through your material, then your hole saw hits that and grabs it and immediately twists your bit off. Yep. Actually, they should just like make those with just a piece of round stock that is in there instead. Well, a snail's pace, but we'll get there. It is thick aluminum.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, another little curve here. And I'll get this, and then I think I'll just use the old compound miter saw with a wood cutting blade on it.
Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Wood cutting blade. It's true, and surprisingly that blade has gone through many projects. Like that miter saw 10 years old at this point, probably.
Yeah.
And amazingly, it's still the first blade.
Yeah, it does need to be changed. That's a good way to cut aluminum though, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to be able to cut angles and stuff, and great for saddle and pipe, and you'll make quick work out of that. Be a nice accurate cut. Whew. Just like that.
All right, so we notched these, as you guys can see. Saved you the part of watching me cut them. But anyway, so you have your one piece, one here like this. The other one just slides right in and interlocks. It's a little bit of tight fit, but that's okay. This one's the one after I tapped the hammer, or tapped it down with a hammer, so it locks into each other like that, and that will weld into the top of the stabilizer pole. If you imagine this being the top of it, we'll cut 4 slots into the pole itself, and this will slide down into those slots, and then you get some nice beefy welds on each of these ears, and we'll also MIG this together too, so that's never going to come apart, and it'll be nice and strong. So now I will get these stainless sleeves pressed in, and these ears will be all done. So we'll move on to that. What say you?
Pretty snazzy looking.
Yeah, right? Shame we'll never see them. They're up too high.
Yeah. These will be good. I can't wait to get those staby poles on.
Oh, I know, me too.
Stop flopping around.
So I've got my ears here, just pressing in these stainless sleeves. Got them all chopped up and ready, so it's not actually pressing them in, pretty much just putting them on this little die here we made a long time ago, and using the hammer on the other side. So that's what I'm doing. Dad's making noise over here, over there. I'm making noise over here.
It's noisy.
It's a good thing we don't have close neighbors. All right. They are done. Got all the stainless inserts hammered in. So that'll be pretty nice. So it's supposed to be at least hopefully not raining the next couple days. It's been raining here for like 2 weeks, so it's been pretty impossible to go and get any welding done on the boat. So we'll bring these down tomorrow and start working on those staby poles, and that'll be nice. And in the meantime, we just had a package arrive from DJI. So pop this guy open here. And what we've got is some new microphones, courtesy of our loyal patrons. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Helping us fund our video equipment.
Yeah, we couldn't do without you. We're trying to start to upgrade some of our equipment. I guess it's kind of gotten a little bit dilapidated.
Yeah,
over
our
the last
stuff's
few years.
kind of just starting to break down the last few months, and yeah, it's definitely time.
Yep. So I think we're switching everything over to DJI, huh?
These guys, the DJI, have a pretty sweet, I guess they call it like ecosystem or something, I'm not sure, but all the mics interlink with each other. They'll interlink with a cell phone when you're recording on your cell, or the gimbal, so it's a really sweet thing. They all kind of just intertwine.
Yeah, and the cameras themselves too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they go wirelessly too.
Whereas GoPro has just completely missed the boat on that one.
Yep.
They've been more focused on doing fancy little effects and things that most of us probably don't use.
Yeah, and they sell this cheesy little media creator edition add-on thing, and it's kind of just a joke. So
Yeah.
it has its own little microphone, and but yeah, these guys are doing it right. They've really stepped up. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. So once again, big thanks to our Patreons and all our viewers too. We appreciate all your support. Couldn't do this without you. So
Yeah, that's
looking
for sure.
forward to this. We got a camera on the way, and so we'll slowly be phasing out the not so reliable GoPros anymore because they haven't been very reliable anymore. They're, like I say, I think they're past their expiration date, and
Definitely.
so we'll slowly be phasing them out, and hopefully we have good luck with these.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. Don't really have to go too crazy here, because the bearing, when we radius this, will just kind of be running off the center here anyways. So just kind of trying to even these faces up a little bit. Whenever you use a jigsaw, it seems like it puts a little bit of an angle on it. Yeah, time for some router. I just use rubbing alcohol to degrease stuff. If it gets on your skin, it's not so toxic. Yeah. Acetone's bad news. People are always touching that stuff without gloves.
Yeah.
It's bad to breathe. It's bad for your skin.
Nasty stuff.
Take care of your body. All right. Well, there we go, guys. Looks pretty good.
No, it reminds me of like frog eyes or something.
Frog eyes?
Yeah. Or like a headband, you put it on your head and
Here's my
got some frog eyes.
Here's my faux mask.
Faux mask.
Mast. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Might be a little bit tight. We'll see.
Yeah. A little grinder if it needs, I guess.
Yeah, that'll work really good. So I guess next is got a couple slugs of pipe and pop those on that. So this will be able to take two goosenecks, two booms. Perfecto.
Nice.
Love it.
Well, there it is.
That looks like a good candidate right there.
Courtesy of Scrapyard Enterprises.
That's right. Oh, look at that. It's just right. It's just right.
Wow.
That'll be nice and easy.
It's almost like we planned it.
So so this will be the ear right here. Of course, there'll be a pipe here. A pin goes through it. This will be the ear that the boom bolts to. Be able to pivot there, and then the boom can go up and down. So yeah. Alrighty.
Sweet. Got most of this piece cut out. Just got that straight to chop with a miter saw over there, and then just a little corner left, a couple of holes to drill and clean up. And Dad was over here drilling out these discs.
Yeah, getting the parts that will go into the gooseneck or the knuckle. I don't know, what else do people call it? What else do you guys call it? That's what we call them up here. So
I guess we call them a knuckle.
I've always called it a knuckle.
Yeah.
I looked it up. The proper term for, like, you know, that part that comes off a boom is a gooseneck. So, at least in olden days. So, I already have most of this outer ring cut all the way through. I'm just getting the core right now. There we go.
Cool.
So that's that. I think I have enough. Wow. I have to tighten that up. These are kind of hot though, so I'm putting my glove back on for this part.
Nice.
There we go. So this will be top or bottom washer for this. One component. that'll go on top of it like that. Matt already did this up for me. Busted a hole through it so we can put our bushing and flange. Same thing as this. Just like that. Stainless bushing inside. Prevent it from wearing because the whole weight of the boom is down on this. And granted, it's not going to be tipping up and down like constantly under load. But even just being mounted here and just a little bit of movement, because that boom will move a bit when you're traveling and it's rough out. Eventually that's going to wear through, that stainless bolt will start to wear into this aluminum, and pretty soon you have an elongated hole, and then pretty soon it's getting way down here, and if you don't address the problem, then it's going to cut through there and it's going to kill somebody one day.
Yep, that's the brutal truth.
It is, and
Like,
you see it.
how do
You
you
go
make
around
things
the
down?
harbor and you look at guys that didn't put stainless bushings through their aluminum pad eyes, and you'll see where they drilled a new hole, and then they drilled a new hole, and they drilled a new hole.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do it with an ear like this.
Nope.
You know, and eventually you got to go like weld that up and re-drill it, and it's just time and money and expense you have to spend later instead of just taking 20 minutes to do it right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we'll have a bottom one like that, we'll have a top one like that, we'll have an inner barrel welded to this, we'll have a second aluminum sleeve that comes down welded to this, have another aluminum ring on top of that, and that'll be on top of that. So we'll have a very nice looking ear when we're done. I'm not sure the length of this. We can always trim this down a little bit if we think that it's sticking out too far. It might be, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I went long because I knew it's easy to cut right now.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, I shall continue on.